A woman is seen running quickly into a corporate building. The beautiful woman wearing high heels is named Park Yin. Wait, Yin shouted as the elevator door was about to close. Fortunately, the elevator door didn't close as someone held it open. Yin was grateful that the elevator door was held open. However, she fell silent when she realized that it was her own CEO, Jungkook, who held the door open. A tall man with a sharp gaze, Jungkook made Yin feel nervous. Yin, standing silently in front of the elevator, caused Jungkook to look at her with curiosity. "Aren't you getting in?" Yin suddenly snapped out of her thoughts and stepped into the elevator. She nervously glanced at her CEO. "Good morning, sir." Jungkook only gave her a faint smile in response. "Which floor?" "Floor 6, sir." After that, there was only silence in the elevator. Jungkook stood quietly, waiting for the elevator to arrive, while Yin stole glances at the handsome man discreetly. Why does he get more handsome every day? I'm getting nervous just looking at him. For 2 years of working in this company, Yin had harbored feelings for her CEO. Although she knew it was forbidden, it was impossible for her love to be accepted by him. She was just an ordinary employee, and their statuses were vastly different. Moreover, the CEO was very handsome, and many other female employees also liked him. She had a lot of competition here. A few minutes later, the elevator door opened on the 6th floor. "I'll go ahead, sir." "Excuse me." Jungkook just nodded quietly. The elevator door closed behind her. Yin quickly went into her office room. Her wide smile caught the attention of her colleague, Yuna. "What's with that goofy smile of yours?" Yin just smiled and sat down at her desk. This only made Yuna more curious, so she approached her desk. "What's going on? You look like you've won the lottery with that smile." "I'm just feeling lucky this morning." "Why?" "I bumped into my crush in the elevator today. He looked incredibly handsome." Yuna understood where Yin was going with this conversation. Being her closest friend, she knew about Yin's crush on their company's CEO, which made her shake her head. "Is that all?" Yin pouted, giving Yuna an annoyed look. "Is that all? This is a happy thing, you know. It's not every day I get to share an elevator with him." Their conversation didn't last long as their manager, Yoon Hyeji, interrupted them. "Stop chatting. Don't you remember we had a meeting today?" "Yin, have you prepared the presentation I asked for?" "I've prepared it. It's on this flash drive." "Good. Hurry up. Everyone to the meeting room." Hyeji left the room. After their supervisor left, Yuna started expressing her frustration. "Honestly, I don't like her attitude. She's too domineering, ordering us around when those tasks should be hers. Like this presentation, shouldn't she be the one presenting it instead of asking you to prepare the material? Come on, she's our manager after all. Let's go to the meeting room quickly." Both of them, along with other employees, quickly entered the meeting room. There, Yin met her CEO again, making her smile widely. Their eyes met, making Yin feel awkward, while Jungkook seemed indifferent. "You're right. Mr. Jungkook looks really handsome today. I told you so." The presentation began smoothly and ended as expected. "Good presentation, Manager Hyeji. Did you prepare this presentation yourself?" Hyeji smiled at the compliment. She nodded. "Yes, I prepared all these presentations myself, sir. I've prepared them for a long time because I don't want to disappoint you." While Jungkook just nodded in response, Yin and Yuna couldn't believe what their manager said. "Why did she say she made it? You're the one who made it yourself." Yin shook her head slightly and held back Yuna's anger. "Let it go. I'm fine." Unbeknownst to them, Jungkook glanced in their direction. As they left the meeting room, unable to tolerate the injustice Yin faced, Yuna finally approached their manager. "Excuse me, Manager Hyeji, I have something to ask." Hyeji stopped in her tracks and looked towards Yuna. "What is it?" "Yuna, please." Yin tried to stop Yuna to prevent the situation from escalating. "Hold on, Yin, we need to confirm this." Yuna looked back at their manager, genuinely upset by her false accomplishment being praised by their CEO. "Why did you say earlier that you made the presentation, when, in fact, it was Yin who made it? At least you should have mentioned that Yin helped with the presentation, but you didn't say anything in front of Mr. Jungkook. You two are just ordinary employees. It's her job when I ask her to make a presentation, but here, I am the manager. Of course, I will still say that this is my work, because I instructed Yin to make this presentation, anyway, I am the one responsible for all of this, not you." Yin and Yuna fell silent upon hearing her words, not because of her manager's words, but because of the presence of Jungkook in front of them. Now, seeing them silent, Hyeji became even more arrogant. "Why are you silent? Have you realized now?" "Indeed, I am very aware now of what you just said." Suddenly, Hyeji turned around, her expression shocked as she looked at her CEO standing right behind her. "Mr. Jungkook, Since when have you been here? Explain to me what you just said earlier. Is it all true? That this presentation wasn't made by you, but by Yin? For a moment, Yin was slightly surprised that her CEO mentioned her name. Mr. Jungkook remembers my name. Hyeji remained silent, intimidated by Jungkook's gaze. Why are you silent? I'm sorry, sir. Actually, this presentation was made by Yin. I only helped with corrections. You should uphold integrity here, as it's the most important thing in this company. Next time, I won't tolerate something like this again. You should clearly state who made each task you assigned to me, as it will be the evaluation of each division. Are you truly responsible for delegating all responsibilities to your subordinates or not? After saying that, Jungkook left the scene. Hyeji glared at both of them before leaving. Yin fell silent. She felt a mixture of anxiety and happiness. She was happy because indirectly Jungkook had defended her. However, on the other hand, she felt anxious because she was afraid her manager would seek revenge on her for making their CEO angry. She also knew that her manager harbored feelings for Jungkook. A week later, it had been a week since the incident where the conflict with her manager occurred. The office atmosphere returned to normal, with Yin working on her tasks as usual. Suddenly, the CEO's secretary, Hyuka, spoke up immediately. Where's someone named Park Yin? Here? Everyone turned their attention to Yin, and she quickly stood up from her desk. That's me. Hyuka walked over to Yin. Mr. Jungkook is calling for you, right now. What's this about? Hyuka remained silent, giving Yin a sardonic look. Reluctantly, Yin stood up and walked towards the CEO's office. Her co-workers watched the scene unfold with some surprise, as it was unusual for Jungkook to have Hyuka personally call an employee down. Jungkook threw the documents onto his desk, with Yin and Hyuka sitting before him. Can you explain what all this means? Are you embezzling company funds? What? No. I would never do that, sir. Check these documents thoroughly. They're reports from the finance division regarding the disbursement of office supplies procurement bonds over the past week. Almost all of them were dispersed under your name and signature. What do you mean by this? What have you been using these company bonds for? But I didn't do this, sir. But these are all your signatures, correct? Yes. These are all my signatures, but I never remember signing these documents, especially all these purchase bonds. I never recall signing them. So who did it? Who used your signature? If not you, your signature is unmistakable, isn't it? Who could forge a signature identical to yours? I don't know why this is happening, sir. I'm also confused. Does that mean you can't defend yourself? Can't prove you're innocent? If I give you a chance to prove your innocence, what will you do? Yin remained silent, hanging her head. She couldn't answer, which only infuriated Jungkook further. Yin, do you realize this amounts to corruption? And you know corruption is not tolerated in this office? Yin remained silent, unable to answer further. She wanted to defend herself, but she felt stuck, with no way out. She was truly confused. I gave you a chance to defend yourself, but if you remain silent and can't defend yourself, it means you are truly guilty. I don't know, sir. I can't defend myself right now, but I didn't do any of this. In that case, you're fired today. Please pack your belongings from the office. Yin wiped away her tears. She couldn't believe this was happening to her. People around her started gossiping. I never expected her to act like that. She looks so innocent, but her heart is rotten. Yin started organizing her belongings on her desk. You're not just going to leave like that, right? It's not fair to you. You should explain this to the CEO if you're not at fault. He called me because he was still giving me a chance to defend myself, but I can't defend myself, Yuna. I don't know how my signature could have been forged by someone else. Anyway, I have to accept it all because I can't prove myself. Yuna, thank you so much for all your help. I hope we can still be friends even if we're not working together anymore. After saying that, Yuna hugged Yin tightly. They were close co-workers, helping and comforting each other. For Yuna, losing Yin meant losing a valuable friend. Let's make time to meet often outside the office, okay? I'll visit your apartment often, and you should come to my place too. Of course, let's schedule frequent meetings. Yin left the room she had occupied for 2 years at the company. Yuna looked on sadly at her co-worker's departure. She was furious at the injustice Yin had faced. Yin stood in front of the company with a bitter smile. The company where she had spent the last 2 years had finally come to an end. That meant she wouldn't be able to see Jungkook again, the man who had filled her heart for the past 2 years. Bro, don't you want to investigate more about the corruption case? I have a feeling it wasn't that woman who did it. Jungkook remained silent. Currently, he is at a club with his friends, including Hyuka, whom he considers like a younger brother. The evidence is there, isn't it? What else do I need to check? And she couldn't defend herself even though I gave her a chance. She could only claim she was innocent, but she couldn't deny the signatures. But isn't that girl always stalking you? She seems to really like you. So what? For me, attitude is far more important even if she's a beautiful girl. Now she's a suspect in corruption at my company. Do you think I should reciprocate the feelings of a woman like that? The door to the VVIP room they were in at the club opened, revealing a woman carrying a tray of drinks they had ordered. Here are your drinks. However, seconds later, both Jungkook and Hyuga were shocked to see the woman carrying the drinks. Yin. Indeed, the woman delivering the drinks was his former employee, Yin, who after being fired from his company, found another job as a drink server in a club. Yin looked surprised to see her former CEO there. Her feelings were mixed. Yin just gave him a slight smile before leaving. However, her hand was stopped by Jungkook. Why are you working here? Yin pulled her hand away from Jungkook's grasp forcibly. I don't have an obligation to answer your questions. Excuse me. Yin quickly left before tears could fall in front of the man she wanted to forget. Meanwhile, Jungkook stared at his hand that had just held hers. Brother, you're starting to care about her. I don't know. I also don't understand why I suddenly did that. Are you starting to have feelings for her? Moreover, she seems to have been very attentive to you all along. Just be quiet. While Yin was in her place, she tried to calm her racing heartbeat. Her feelings were mixed. She wanted to forget Jungkook, but ended up meeting him in such an embarrassing place. I really have to forget about him now. Even when I was still his employee, I didn't dare to imagine any relationship with him. Especially now, I'm just an employee at a club. The next morning, Jungkook's mood has been completely messed up since last night. After coming back from the club and seeing Yin working there, it made him unable to sleep soundly. The same goes for this morning. His emotional state is really bad. Jungkook, busy in front of his laptop, was suddenly startled when Hyuga appeared with a shocked expression. Jungkook, why do you have to shout like that? I've found the real culprit behind the corruption in this company. Jungkook furrowed his brows in confusion. What do you mean? It's not Yin who committed the corruption in this company, but manager Hyaji herself. What? Shortly after, manager Hyaji arrived accompanied by two others who brought her, one of whom was Yuna. You better explain yourself to Mr. Jungkook. Hyaji cowered in fear, remaining silent, while Jungkook stared at her with a piercing gaze. Is what Hyuga said true? Explain. Don't just stand there in silence. Jungkook's voice was raised this time. It seemed like the situation was suitable for him to unleash all the pent-up anger since last night. I apologize, Mr. Jungkook. I didn't mean to do it. I was blinded by jealousy all this time. Everyone who heard Hyaji's response was shocked, including Yuna and especially Jungkook. Blinded by jealousy? What did she mean? What do you mean? I felt compelled to do it because I didn't think she should be working here. When she's here, all the men's eyes are on her, including yours. Jungkook fell silent for a moment. His hand clenched into a fist. He walked towards Hyaji. You've made a colossal mistake. Not only did you embezzle from the company, but you also pinned all your blame on someone who is entirely innocent. Do you even realize the impact of your slander on Yin's life after leaving the company because of your false accusations? Huh. She even went as far as... Jungkook paused for a moment, almost blurting out what he witnessed last night, but he quickly realized he shouldn't disclose what he saw. Yin's dignity would only further plummet in front of the employees here. Meanwhile, Hyuga was equally shocked to witness Jungkook's genuine anger in defending Yin. Hyuga now understands the situation. Deep down, Jungkook must feel guilty for firing the innocent girl. How did you manage to forge her signature? A week ago, when she handed me the materials for the presentation meeting, she gave me her flash drive. I saw important document files stored there, including her electronic signature. I reprinted those receipts, but already contained her signature on the paper. That's how I did it. You're going to jail. Your actions are criminal. Your mistakes are threefold. First, you embezzled from this company. Second, you forged a signature and misused it for crime. And third, you've tarnished Yin's reputation. Upon hearing this, Hyaji immediately kneeled before him. She really didn't want to be thrown into prison. What would her life be like behind bars? Her future would truly be shattered. I beg you, Mr. Jungkook, please forgive me. You don't need to kneel before me like this. Your mistake towards me is only one, which is embezzlement in my company. But your mistake towards Yin is twofold. You misused her signature and tarnished her reputation. Hyaji immediately stood up, looking at Jungkook with a sense of disappointment and hurt. Why do you always defend her? I've been working with you in this company longer. I've helped you more directly. Jungkook, can't you just look at me for a moment? Why have you always ignored me since we were in college? You never even acknowledged me. I've considered you a friend enough because I accepted you when you applied to work in my company. What more do you expect? Don't bring your personal issues here. Don't make me regret accepting you here. You're being unreasonable. Jungkook, you're the one being unreasonable. Hyaji, because of your foolish feelings, I ended up firing an innocent Yin. I will report you to the police for your criminal actions against her. You're so heartless. If you can't reciprocate my feelings, don't ruin my life, Jungkook. That depends on Yin. Tomorrow, I'll bring her to this office and you have to apologize to her directly. If she forgives you, I'll let you go. But if she doesn't, I won't drag you to jail. Now, all of you get out of here. Without daring to argue further, they all left the CEO's office, leaving Jungkook alone as he sat back in his chair. He leaned back, closing his eyes, trying to calm his breathing. His hands continued to massage his forehead. I have to bring her back to work here. I won't let her work in that club. Jungkook entered the club, loud music reverberating throughout the room. His eyes scanned the crowded space, searching for someone, none other than Yin. There she was, just like last night, carrying drinks to serve the guests. Jungkook approached her immediately, his heart pounding rapidly. Now he stood right in front of Yin, who looked surprised, with a hint of embarrassment in front of him. What else could this man want from her? That's what was on Yin's mind at the moment. Yin, can we talk for a moment? I'm sorry, I'm busy right now. Can't you see I'm working? Just a moment, it's important. There's nothing important left to discuss between us. Sorry, I have to work. Excuse me. Yin was about to step away, but Jungkook blocked her path, his hand now holding hers. This is important, Yin, very important. I ask for just a little of your time. Yin grimaced inwardly, wondering why this man was so insistent on talking to her when she was trying to move on. Sorry, if you forget, let me remind you. This place is not your company, not your territory, so I have no obligation to comply with your wishes. No, for now. You have to follow what I want. Stop working here and come back to the office tomorrow. Huh? Who are you to dictate my life like that? Yin, working here is not good for you. You don't deserve to work in a place like this. I've told you, don't dictate my life. Don't you understand what I mean? This environment is not good for you. You might appear cheap if you work here. Upon hearing that, Yin was truly provoked emotionally. Reflexively, she grabbed a glass of wine from the tray she was holding and poured it over Jungkook's body. Yin realized what Jungkook had said was true. She felt like a cheap woman here. But couldn't Jungkook hold back his words? He didn't need to say it so blatantly in front of her. As if just realizing what she had done, Yin looked shocked, but her emotions overpowered her at the moment. Meanwhile, Jungkook, his neck, now wet from the wine, remained silent, but his lips showed a faint smirk. Just a few seconds after the incident, a man passed by and was surprised to see Jungkook drenched in wine because of Yin's action. Oh my, Mr. Jungkook, I sincerely apologize for this girl's rudeness towards you. Jungkook just remained silent, not responding, but his expression clearly showed his displeasure at the situation. Yin, what's the meaning of this action, huh? Don't you know who this man is? He's a VVIP regular customer of this club. How dare you treat him like this? The man turned back to Jungkook and immediately bowed slightly to apologize. I apologize, Mr. Jungkook. I'll ensure this girl won't dare behave disrespectfully towards you again. As an apology from me, tonight I'll offer you unlimited free drinks. No need, I'll never come back to this club if this girl still works here, unless you fire her. Did you hear that, Yin? You're fired right now. Starting tonight, you won't work here anymore. What? Why is that, sir? Because you've disappointed my customer. If you continue to stay here, I could go bankrupt because of you. Yin was truly shocked to hear what she heard. Her gaze now shifted to Jungkook, who stood calmly, showing a faint smirk on his lips. Yin was really frustrated at this point. Finally, without saying a word, she turned her body and immediately went to the back of the club to the staff room to tidy up her belongings. Meanwhile, I sincerely apologize once again for the rudeness of that girl towards you, Mr. Jungkook. Please accept my offer. I'd like you to enjoy free drinks here tonight. No need, your recent action has satisfied me already, thank you. Alright then, and thank you, Mr. Jungkook, for being our loyal customer all this time. Jungkook just smiled faintly and nodded, then he turned around and walked straight out of the club. Jungkook is parking his car right in front of the club's entrance, his eyes sharp as he watches people coming out until he finally breathes a sigh of relief upon seeing Yin. He immediately gets out of his car and approaches her, while Yin, seeing Jungkook standing in front of her, puts on a cold expression. What else do you want from me? Not satisfied yet with making me lose my job here? That was my intention, and I'll do whatever it takes to get you out of this cheap job. It's not worthy of you. Yes, just like you said earlier. I look like a cheap woman. That's right, what I said. I said you look like a cheap woman. But that doesn't mean you really are cheap. What I meant was that you're not suitable to work in this environment. Did you not notice how the men were looking at you earlier? You could become a target for unscrupulous men if you continue to stay here. I can take care of myself. But still, this work environment is not good for you, Yin. Yin, hearing Jungkook say that is stunned. What does this man mean? Why does he care now that he's already fired her? While Yin is busy with her own thoughts, Jungkook steps closer to her, so now they're very close. I apologize for firing you. We've found the main culprit now. This morning, she confessed her wrongdoing. Who did it? Manager Hyaji. She's the one who did it. I suspected as much. Yin, let's get into the car now. There's something I need to talk to you about. No need. I got you fired from this club, so I have to take responsibility. You deliberately got me fired. Yes, as I said earlier, I did it on purpose. I didn't want you to work like this. Yin, please, come back to work at the company. You're asking me to come back after you wrongly fired me, is that it? Because I know I was wrong. That's why, as soon as I found out the truth, I came to you. If I wasn't wrong, I would never have come to you. It would be even worse if I knew I was wrong and didn't come to you. I tried to understand your position at that time. That's why I gave you a chance to defend yourself. But I also have to take action as the company's leader. At that time, you were accused, so there had to be action I took. However, now that you've been proven innocent, I'll stand by you. Because you are indeed innocent, I came to you like this as the CEO of the company. Yes, I can understand your position, but I still need some time alone. Why do you need time alone? Isn't this a work-related issue? Not a personal one. What's going on with you? Yin remained silent, feeling unsure of how to respond. She couldn't possibly be honest and admit that she was disappointed, not just as an employee, but as a woman. And what was she hoping for? She couldn't expect her CEO to blindly defend her without considering the clear facts. They were currently in a professional relationship, just boss and employee. So what could she hope for? Of course, she couldn't expect more from Jungkook. At that moment, he was just acting as the leader of the company where she worked, and any employee who was at fault would be disciplined by him. If Yin was indeed at fault, then she would be punished. But if she was innocent then, as happened before, Jungkook would be on her side, defending her against Hyaji. Yes, that's how it happened. Finally, Yin sighed. She had to think realistically, separating work matters from her personal matters. Yin had to remember that the person standing before her now was a CEO, not a lover. Okay, so what do you want to talk about, sir? I don't want us to talk like this. Let's find a nice place to chat. Yin, once again, I want to apologize for my mistake. I'm here as a representative of the company, hoping that you can return to work at the office. We need competent employees like you. What about Manager Hyaji? Shouldn't she be treated fairly? What punishment will you give her? I should have fired her today, but her case is more complicated than yours. She didn't just commit embezzlement of company funds. She made 3 mistakes, including forging your signature and using it for criminal acts, as well as tarnishing your reputation. Considering all that, I didn't fire her immediately today. I hope you can come to the office tomorrow, and there I want to see your decision. Why should I decide? Her mistake against the company is only one, embezzlement of company funds. But her mistakes against you are 2, and you have the right to prosecute her. The company's sanction against her is already confirmed. She will be fired tomorrow, but I think that's not enough. She could be legally prosecuted. That's why I leave the decision to you, as you are more entitled to demand justice. Yin swallowed hard, struggling with her thoughts. She didn't expect Jungkook to consider this matter to such an extent. All she thought was that Hyaji would be fired, which she thought would be enough, as there would no longer be a manager who was arrogant and abusive. But if she had to report Hyaji to the police and have her in prison, should she do all that? Yin was getting more confused now, unsure of what decision to make regarding Hyaji. What do you think? What should I do about Hyaji? I'm afraid I might make the wrong decision. I think it's best if you report her to the police. What she did constitutes a criminal act. She took your electronic signature from the flash drive you gave her for the presentation materials you worked on back then. She dared to use your signature to commit a crime, and we don't know what else she might do with your signature, even after she's fired from the company. Another mistake is that she caused defamation, tarnishing your name in the company. Although with your return to work, your name will be cleared again. But you also need to teach her a lesson so she won't mistreat others again, especially about misusing your signature. That's the most serious mistake she's made. But dealing with the police will surely take a lot of time, and also witnesses from the people involved in the issue. Don't worry about that. I'll accompany you and be one of the witnesses to speak to the police later. Initially, Yin was silent. She seemed to be thinking, but eventually nodded slowly. It seemed that what Jungkook said made sense. Alright, I agree with what you suggest. And because I made the wrong decision by firing an innocent employee, I will compensate you by promoting you to a new position. Compensation? What does it mean? That I'm being promoted to a new position? Yes, that's the plan. I want to appoint you as my secretary. I think that position suits you well. And based on your performance so far, you're quite an accomplished employee. Yin paused for a moment. Of course, this was a golden opportunity for her. She was getting a new job title, and of course, with a much higher salary, because everyone knows that being Jungkook's secretary is a very lucrative and highly respected position. Alright, I'll return to work at the company. But why do I have to be your personal secretary? Isn't there already? Hyuka? Hyuka now has a new position. He will serve as the director of planning. Besides, he has been eyeing that position for a long time, and Mr. Minho, who is currently the director of planning, is about to retire, so Hyuka will take over. Yin smiled widely upon hearing that. Thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity. From now on, you will be my right-hand person, my trusted employee. I hope we can work together well in the future. Yin felt her heart warming after hearing all of this. She could start working again tomorrow as Jungkook's personal secretary. This was truly like winning the lottery. Finally, there was a good opportunity for her in her career path. Wow, you finally did all this for Yin. It's not like you personally handle employee matters like this. I feel like I'm losing my role as your right-hand man. Why do you think that? I know your character well, brother. Getting involved in matters like this directly isn't your style at all. Usually, you would delegate me as your representative. You wouldn't personally conduct investigations like this. Take, for example, the corruption case and other cases that have occurred in the company before. Have you ever directly intervened to resolve them? As far as I remember, you never have. You never want to be bothered with dealing with employee matters. For someone as important as you, dealing with these kinds of matters is not important at all, right? Because you consider many other things far more important. But this time is different. You went to the club to see Yin in person? This is really unlike you. Come on, there's no harm in getting directly involved once in a while, right? I know, because Yin is special to you, isn't she? Just admit it. You even went through the trouble to visit her. Jungkook remained silent, neither confirming nor denying what Hyuka said. Yin, welcome back to the company. I missed you so much. As soon as she arrived at the company, Yuna immediately hugged her tightly. Some people in the company also apologized to her for misjudging her at that time. Meanwhile, Yin felt happy to be back there. Come on, take a seat at your desk. Yin paused for a moment. Yuna didn't know yet that she wouldn't be working in that department anymore, but as the CEO's secretary. Yuna, actually. Shortly after, Hyuka entered the room. Yin, why are you still here? Your room is next to the CEO's office. Next to the CEO's office? That means you're now Mr. Jungkook's secretary? Yin nodded shyly. Yuna immediately smiled widely and hugged her. Does that mean you two will get even closer now? Yin lowered her head, gently pushing Yuna away. She was truly embarrassed because her friend kept teasing her. Well then, I'll leave now. See you later at lunchtime. Finally, Yin made her way to the CEO's secretary's room. She could see from the side where Jungkook was focused on the documents in front of him. Well, at least I get to feast my eyes every day. Shortly after, the phone on her desk rang. It was from Jungkook, asking her to come into his office. I'll call Hyeji now. Do you know what you're going to do? Yes, sir. I've made my decision. What's your decision? I'm going to report her to the police, but I'm still open to reconciliation if she's willing, of course, with terms agreed upon at the police station. Are you sure? You want to go legal? That's the plan, but it depends on her attitude towards me later. If she shows no remorse, then I won't withdraw the police report. Alright, if that's your decision. Yin's heart was pounding. What's going on? Why does she see so many changes in Jungkook's attitude towards her? Is it just her feelings, or does she feel Jungkook is treating her more kindly than usual? Jungkook made another call through the phone on his desk. This time, he called Hyeji. A few minutes later, after the call ended, Hyeji finally arrived in the CEO's office. I called you here because I'm going to hand you this termination letter. But as I said yesterday, your actions are not just subject to dismissal but also constitute a crime for forging signatures and misusing them for your own gain. And that's Yin's decision, because she's the one most entitled to make a decision regarding your actions, the crimes you've committed against her. You can hear for yourself what her decision is. I'm disappointed in you, Manager Hyeji. You often dominate in our division because you're our boss, but I didn't expect you to stoop to such slander against me. I entrusted you with that flash drive because I felt safe with you. but it turns out you abused that trust by stealing my electronic signature file. Fine, I'll return your flash drive. And who's to guarantee that you haven't copied the file containing my electronic signature to your other devices? This time, Hyeji could only remain silent. She couldn't defend herself. However, she seemed unwilling to apologize to Yin. Her jealousy grew even more when she learned that today Yin returned to this office and was even appointed as Jungkook's secretary. Despite this, Hyeji couldn't revolt because she was also aware of how risky her position was. Jungkook furrowed his brows even more as he saw Hyeji's reluctance to apologize to Yin. This woman was indeed very stubborn. It seems you're truly stubborn, Hyeji. Even with Yin standing right in front of you, you refuse to apologize for your own mistakes. Fine, I apologize to you, Yin. Hyeji's tone sounded insincere, evident from her facial expression that she still harbored a deep resentment towards Yin. Alright, let's just continue this matter at the police station. It seems that would be best. Finally, the case was brought to the police station, and Hyeji received a fair punishment for all her wrongdoings, leaving Yin and Jungkook satisfied. On the other hand, days turned into weeks, and it's been a month since Yin started working as Jungkook's secretary. During this time, she grew closer to Jungkook. She often accompanied Jungkook for lunch outings with colleagues. Sometimes Jungkook even drove her home when they both worked late. Jungkook started paying more attention to Yin, even asking her not to address him formally when they were outside the office or when they were alone. Jungkook, there's an invitation from CEO Enterprise to attend his daughter's wedding in Bizen. Are you accepting it? Yes, I am. I want you to be my partner. Shouldn't you take your girlfriend instead of me? Besides, this invitation seems to be personal rather than on behalf of the company. Since when do I have a girlfriend? Have you ever seen me with another woman besides you? Alright, I'll accompany you there. After saying that, Yin hurriedly left the CEO's office, feeling a mix of embarrassment and happiness in her heart. Meanwhile, Jungkook chuckled softly as he watched Yin's back walking out of the room. She's adorable. Congratulations on your daughter's wedding, Mr. Gwon. Jungkook shook hands with the person who invited him. He and Yin were currently in Bizen to attend the invitation. Wow, Jungkook, I didn't expect you to have time to come here because I know you're a very busy person. I definitely had to come to my senior's event. I couldn't miss this honorable invitation. Mr. Gwon also chuckled. He glanced at Yin beside Jungkook. Finally, you brought your woman to me. Is she the one you often talk about with me? Yin was immediately taken aback by that. She glanced at Jungkook, who also glanced slightly in her direction. Jungkook nodded. Yes, she's the one I meant. You have very good taste. I'll be waiting for your invitation. After that, CEO Gwon and his wife left, leaving Yin still confused. Jungkook, what did Mr. Gwon mean just now? Jungkook just smiled at her. He held Yin's hand with him. Let's go. Jungkook led Yin out of the ballroom to get away from the crowd. Well, it's quiet here. What's the matter? Jungkook looked deeply into Yin's eyes. His intense gaze made Yin feel nervous and awkward. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Jungkook gently took her hand. This action made her heart race even faster, so much so that she could hear it herself. Yin, do you really have feelings for me? Yin widened her eyes in surprise. Her heart raced even faster. Well, I can explain. I do like you, but I won't let this affect my work. I'll still be professional. Since when? Huh? Since when have you liked me? Since I first joined the company. Jungkook had suspected as much. He had actually known from the beginning that the woman in front of him had feelings for him. Initially, Jungkook didn't pay much attention to it because he wasn't interested in forming any relationships with anyone. However, as time went by, his thoughts suddenly changed as he grew closer to Yin. Do you still have those feelings now? Yin nodded slightly, still keeping her head down out of embarrassment. Then, suddenly, she felt Jungkook's hand touch her head and his lips kiss her forehead. Yin was surprised and widened her eyes, lifting her head to look directly at him. What are you? Keep loving me, because I'm now in love with you too. Yin was surprised to hear that. For the moment, she couldn't say anything. This surprised her, as she remained silent. Honestly, she never expected Jungkook to reciprocate her feelings. Just the thought of being in a special relationship with Jungkook was something she didn't want to entertain, fearing disappointment as mere fantasy. So, Yin had enough self-awareness not to try to approach Jungkook romantically, let alone confess her feelings directly. To her, it would be absurd and embarrassing. But what was happening now? Was Jungkook baiting her to be honest about her feelings? Yes. Now Yin truly understood his dominant character. He didn't say I love you first, but intentionally provoked her to confess first. Yin, what's wrong? Why are you silent? Is this not a dream? Are you serious about saying this to me? Of course I'm serious. Do I look like I'm joking? How did you even know that I liked you? You're actually quite easy to read. So, I'm not foolish to read the situation. Hearing his words made Yin even more embarrassed. Now she started to lower her head again, but moments later, his fingers lifted her chin to prevent her from looking down. Now, Jungkook began to lean closer. May I? Yin nodded her head. Soon after, their lips met. Jungkook gave gentle kisses to her lips for a few moments before their lips parted. After the kiss, they rested their foreheads together and chuckled softly. I love you, Yin. I love you too, Jungkook. Okay, let's head back now? Yin simply nodded. Finally, they made their way to the car park to get ready to return to Seoul. Finally, this journey felt different. It wasn't that they hadn't taken long car trips before. They had often traveled from Seoul to Bisan for business purposes. What made this trip different was their changed status. Initially, their relationship was purely that of employer and employee, but now it was more than that. They were not only boss and employee, but also a couple. During the 4-hour journey, they discussed many things, and for the first time, Jungkook held Yin's hand gently for quite a while. Eventually, they arrived in front of Yin's apartment without realizing how quickly time had passed. Thank you for driving me home, Jungkook. Initially, Jungkook just nodded and smiled, but as Yin was about to get out, you're quite heartless, aren't you? No intention of inviting me in? Yin was a bit surprised to hear what Jungkook said. In all their previous drop-offs, Yin had never offered for Jungkook to come inside because she had no reason to get closer to him. But now Jungkook was asking to come in. Was it just a formality? Or did he genuinely want to come inside? Nevertheless, are you serious about coming in? Yes, we've spent 4 hours on the road. I could use some rest. And what? And I'd like to stay over at your place tonight. Is that okay? What? Can't I crash at your place? You can, but my apartment is small and only has 1 bedroom. That's okay. We can sleep together. Once again, Yin was taken aback by Jungkook's suggestion. Is it okay? Once again, Jungkook asked. Meanwhile, Yin just let out a slow breath. Of course, you can, especially since you're my boyfriend now. With that, Jungkook and Yin both stepped out of the car and entered the apartment building. It seemed like tonight, they would both be busy.